Welcome into another spring training edition of Locked on Astros. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. Hey, Yiner, why don't you hit that intro for us?
Yainer Diaz, this is Locked on Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chansey.
Hey there, and welcome into a special edition of Locked on Astros. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. I'm your host, and you can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find the show at Locked on Astros on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Everywhere, find me on Stros 411 on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. Help us get to 11,000. We need to get to 11,000. Please let us get there. We want to get there fast, and we want to get there in a furious way because the Astros are charging into the 2024 season. And so I'm going to show you game highlights from the February 26th game. They have had a couple games since then. And while I'm doing this on a Tuesday evening, the Nationals drummed the Astros 10-3. Oh my gosh, the Nationals are beating the Astros, and the Astros only 1-4. The season's over, kids. No, I'm just kidding. The season's not over. It's spring training, y'all. Chill out. It's okay. Don't worry about it. This is just the beginning of another great run, another World Series run. That's right. I really fully believe that this team is tooled up and ready to go. And I just want y'all to know that this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Why? Because we want to make every moment more. When new customers join today, get $150 in bonus bets with your first winning $5 bet or more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon today to get started. Look, I got to start with the game highlights, and then we will hear from Joe Espada in our Yo Joe segment. Actually, no, we'll hear from Spencer Arrighetti and then Joe Espada. So let's watch these game highlights, condensed version. I know. You're like, why, Htown? Why would you show the Tigers home run? Well, it was the lone run scored in the game. And when they do condense highlights, they only show the scoring plays unless hits that the Astros get lead up to runs, I believe. So, hey, that's not on me. That's on the video guy that puts that together. I don't know who that is, but you know what? At least we get this behind the scenes footage. If you have not made it out to spring training, I would encourage you to do it, even if you can do it this year. I'm still considering it here in a couple weeks. I'll let y'all know if I go out there, because if you're out there and I'm out there at the same time, I'd love to meet you guys. So let's hear from Mr. Spaghetti himself, see what Spencer Arrighetti had to say about his outing.
I'm really happy with it. I felt like I was in the strike zone a lot. I felt like it was good for me to get out there and get my feet wet in a cool stadium against a really good lineup. And yeah, I feel like I did my job today. I think for the most part, I didn't try to do too much. I kind of just tried to be in the zone and make good pitches, and I made a lot of good pitches today.
How important was it just to pound the zone? Was that something you were trying to really focus on coming in?
Absolutely, yeah. That's my main goal in spring training, is just find the zone with everything and make sure I'm feeling good, feeling like I'm spinning the ball well and getting the shapes that I want to see. And obviously that stuff's important, but once you're in the game, it's more about throwing the ball to a good spot in the zone. And I think I did that a lot today.
How much do you read hitter reactions and what you think about the way some of their swings today?
That's the game within the game, and I think any amount of information that you can get off of a guy is priceless. And I think that a lot of times the swing tells you exactly what you need to know about what they're looking for and the location. And I think I did a good job of reading that today. I know Cesar Salazar did a great job of reading that today. He kept me in it a lot, and he's a fantastic catcher, calls a great game, and it makes me confident, so it makes it easy.
How often did you work in the sinker?
I actually didn't throw it at all today. Yeah, there wasn't a great time for it, and again, it's not something I'm going to push too hard. So when I feel like my four seam's good, I'm going to throw it.
I know you said you're working on landing your breaking ball in
Yeah.
the zone. How did you feel like you did with that?
I think I did a good job of that today. I think I could have done a little bit better with sliders. I think my curveball was pretty good today, and I liked where the cutter and four seam were at. Got to punch out on a changeup, which is big for me. That's another development goal, is just throwing that one to a really good spot. So I think in general with spin today, it was pretty good.
This falls in line with what Mike Stanton talked to us about the other day about the fastball establishing the breaking pitches. And Spencer Arrighetti talked about the changeup, talked about the slider, all those things. He said, well, those pitches were not really what I was looking to throw until I got. Basically, control is the biggest thing that I think that Arrighetti wants to work on, and that's where the pitching efficiency comes from. Mike Stanton talked to us about that, about pitching efficiency, and the way that you become a more efficient pitcher is you establish your two-seam, your four-seam fastballs. Once you have your fastballs established, then you can bring in the breaking balls and the different things like that. So that is something I think we definitely need to make sure that we pay attention to, because that's where we're really going to understand where these pitchers are when it comes to pitching and why they're selecting the pitches they did. And after these messages, I want to talk about what he said about Cesar Salazar, because I think it's very, very important. All right, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. That's right. Why? Because you can get $150 in bonus bets with your first winning $5 bet or more at FanDuel.com/lockedon. You definitely want to go check it out today. Get your buckets with your first bet with FanDuel, because right now, like I said, I'm going to repeat it because it is worth repeating. $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's right, $5. 155. It just, don't tell FanDuel that it doesn't make sense for them, but it makes sense for you. But they want you to have it. Why? Because you can bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same game parlays, and exclusive props. That's right, and so much more. So just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. Why? Because FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. All right, let's talk about Mr. Spaghetti here and what he mentioned about his pitches, and related to what Mike Stanton was talking about pitching efficiency is you want to establish your fastball early. And once you can do that, then you can bring in those auxiliary pitches and you can get to your stuff, your other stuff, your changeup quicker. And he said, I got a strikeout on my changeup. And that's one of my goals, what I wanted to do. And so I thought that was really interesting. I love what he had to say. I love how it matches exactly what Mike Stanton was talking about the other night with me on the show. about pitch selection and Cesar Salazar. I don't want to get away from that point. Cesar Salazar, every minor league pitcher that I spoke with last year, I would ask them who they most like to throw to. And they would almost always say Cesar Salazar, from Endersby to Record, even Jonathan Sprinkle when he was with the organization. And it's not to say that they didn't like throwing to Corey Lee or they didn't like throwing to Yainer Diaz or whoever was behind the plate, Luke Berryhill. But you always have a guy that you're most comfortable with. And I really think, for all intents and purposes, that those were some of the issues last year. And maybe they weren't. And, I'm not sitting here to argue back and forth with people about the Maldi thing and everything like that. But Cesar Salazar, if he's has to be called upon because maybe Carantini goes down or they are light in the catching area because of an injury, Cesar Salazar is a trusted catcher in the system, and he may be your proverbial backup. He may be like the equivalent to a backup quarterback where, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, where you can fit him in and he's a key tool and he comes in. Look, he calls a good game. And when pitchers, especially someone like Arrighetti, has confidence in them, that means that you have depth in your catching department. And who can't use depth? I mean, who couldn't use depth, right? Depth in your catching department is huge. So enough about me and what I said. Let's hear what Joe Espada had to say on this day in our new segment.
He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. Joe Espada, yo, Joe.
Like yesterday, Arrighetti really pounded the strike zone, and you had to yourself.
Yes, I did. The elevation on the fastball, how we can control that and command that top of the zone, and also his off speed, how he was able to mix it. That was a pretty solid first impression. That was pretty good.
How are you evaluating him this spring? Is it just to see what he has, or is it to gauge how he might be able to help you at some point this year if needed?
You know what? Both. We all know that he's in the plans, right? And it just show him some maturity, and he's tough. He competes. We all know that. It's just how often he could pound the zone and give us some quality innings.
Anything else stand out from you today about the guys who came behind?
Yeah, you know what? We played some good defense. Luciano made that nice play there, barehanded. I didn't think he had a chance, but he came in hard. The off balance still. That was a great play. Matthews making that play in the hole, showing his range and accuracy on the throw. So I thought we played some good defense, despite not doing much offensively. But I thought that we competed well, and the defense played well.
All right, there you go. Joe Espada is happy with what he sees from Arrighetti. He's happy with what he sees with the defense. And so we basically heard from the skipper there. And I wanted to share this information with y'all. Why? Because it is information and stuff that is shared with us. And so I'm able to break down these highlights for y'all and give it to y'all in a pretty succinct way. So, for myself, for Eric Heisman, for everybody here at Locked on Astros, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you make us your first listen every single day. And also make sure that you check out FanDuel. They are America's #1 sports book. And even, why not, check out the Game Time app. Game Time is here. It's today. Download the Game Time app, create your account, use the promo code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. So again, y'all have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll talk soon. Go Astros.